Greetings, all. Chronicle of my journey. The journey continues. Today, I had a follow up appointment with Dr. Park, and we pretty much discussed everything that we had already talked about in the past. Like, he's very adamant that I needed to get back to the genetic specialist because science shows that breast cancer and ovarian cancer run hand in hand. So he's very adamant that we put a plan together to either monitor my ovaries or take them out. So I'm, of course, the other day I was kicking and screaming and having a whole fit, but I am okay with them coming out because it'll be kind of difficult to catch cancer if it strikes in that area. I don't think, my personal opinion, I just don't think that's something I'm willing to risk. So I'm okay with taking them out. Jason is all the child that I need. Brother keeps me on my toes, and so at 42 I don't want to start over anyway. But like I said the other day, it was just really difficult to hear somebody tell you have to make those choices. But I've made a whole bunch of choices since July. And so I just better get off my soapbox and get busy trying to save my life. And so that's just what we are going to do. So I do have an appointment scheduled with the genetic specialist in May. That's the closest time they could get to me. Today we talked about the family circle. So he's very adamant that I need to push my siblings to be tested because of the BRCA1 genetic mutation. I think I have communicated to my siblings the importance of this, and their eyes are well aware of what we're dealing with. On my mother's side, my grandfather passed away of prostate cancer. I had another uncle, they're twins. One uncle had, I think, colon cancer. And then, so now I have an uncle now that's battling lung cancer. Breast cancer runs in my family, and men can get breast cancer. Contrary to belief, boobs are not just for girls. So he's very adamant that I get with the genetic counselor to figure out a plan for me to save my life here, hence, now, and forevermore. He was very clear that even though they didn't find any cancer now and it is none on the lab results, that does not mean the cancer is not there. It could be lying dormant, or it could just be such a small amount that it got missed somewhere else in the body. It could be, or well, that was it. Somewhere, it could be somewhere else in the body. It could be so minute that they missed it when they did the lab, or they didn't see it because it's so small. So we're going to continue to monitor the breast area and the blood work. Now, he said something I really didn't like. He doesn't want me to do blood work every 6 months because he said it will heighten my anxieties. And what he has found over time is doing blood work every 6 months is still no way of finding the cancer any faster than if you start to exhibit symptoms. So I'm not really a fan of that, because initially we talked about doing the blood work every 6 months and making sure that we've stayed on top of that. But because it is more like a female thing for me, I can always get with my OB to have the blood work done, or I can request it. So I think Dr. Park, as a physician, is torn in between worlds. What's best for the patient, and what the insurance company has already said. Look, now, don't be sending all this lab work back this way, because we ain't trying to pay for all this. So, excuse me. I think that is his dilemma, because honestly, I do see the benefit of having the blood work done every 6 months, because if it comes back through the blood faster than I exhibit symptoms, then we can start treatment earlier, faster. Find it, treat it, get it, so that's my stance on it. So we might have some battles going on later on down the road. And then too, he's the oncologist. Sure, he knows what he's talking about, but I have a 15-year-old kid that I don't want to leave on this earth. So I know what I'm talking about. So we're going to bump a little heads right there. And I don't know what Dr. Grau is going to say. I do have an appointment with her in a couple of weeks. And Dr. Higdon, the plastic surgeon, I don't know what he's going to say about all the blood work and all the labs and all the testing, simply because I think that's important. So I'm going to get on my soapbox, because how can I tell y'all to go see about yourself and check on yourself, and then they're going to tell me to come check on myself, but we ain't going to check on myself. No, we going to check on me. So we going to fall out about that, Dr. Park. I love you. I think you so doggone handsome and cute. You just a little cute somebody, but when it come to me, we going to do some blood work now. We going to fall out about that. Anyway, so I'll keep you posted about the meeting with Dr. Tong. Oh, these names are so weird. I don't know. Dr. Tug, I think that's the name. I see her in May, the genetic specialist. She will then put together a plan for what needs to happen for my girl parts. So do we take the ovaries out and hope we catch the cancer early if it hits another part of the body? Or do we leave the ovaries in and monitor them and see what menopause does? Menopause typically happens at 50. Excuse me, Dr. Park said. However, I'm experiencing a lot of the menopausal signs now. So when we talked about it, I put it to him like this: at 42, I'm really, really close to the 50 mark. So I'm really, really close to the menopause. I'm perimenopausal, as they call it. I don't really care to have more kids. And if taking out my ovaries is one less place that the cancer can develop, then I much rather be safe than sorry. Because what I don't want to happen is if I leave the ovaries in and I go back to living life as business as usual, and I, miss an appointment, something happens and I forget. Like, y'all know how it is. You make an appointment, you look up 2 weeks later, you done missed the appointment, and bam, all of a sudden I got ovaries, cancer in my ovaries, and I should have just took the daggum things out. So I'm on the side of caution. So that is what we talked about today. They did not take my port out. Excuse me. Now listen. Side note, I cleared my throat in the doctor's office, honey, and this lady got up and moved away from me. I don't blame you, sucker. So you just never know. I ain't been nowhere, but you don't know if the mailman handed it to me. I don't know. But I feel good. I ain't got me no fever, honey, and all this foolishness. But, honey, Sue got up and got on away from me. Anyway, my port. My port is still there, right? So, and it's Dr. Park is going to get a radiologist to take it out, because they didn't take it out during the surgery, because if there was more cancer, I was going to have to do more chemo. So he wants to pour out, because just like my tubes, they started to get infected. And that's what was causing me the fever that day. And I kept saying, y'all, should I be concerned? Well, that's what was causing it, because as soon as she took those tubes out, everything went away. Like, I got instantly better. Like, that night, I was great. So he's concerned that the port will start to behave the same way. And so now they communicate a lot through their My Vanderbilt app. So I told him to go ahead and schedule the appointment, and I get there. No hell or high water. If you make the appointment, I'm gonna get there. So there's gonna be 2 separate surgeries, and I was really hoping for one, but it is what it is. So the port is gonna be the first thing we shoot for. I go back next week to Dr. Higdon, the plastic surgeon, who's going to inflate my balloons a little more with saline. He wants to stretch them a little bit more. 2 more cc's of fluid. And then we'll see what we got. Now, I think that's enough cc's for me. I done had it now. This is enough. Now let's be right here and be through with that. I'm done. call it quits. Under there, so of course I told you I had the scar that's under there. The left side has healed perfectly. And I see a very faint, like a dark scar. I don't know if I can show. Like, I mean, you really can't even tell just looking at it unless you lift them up. I don't know if you can see, but I'm trying to show you without being grotesque and be appropriate. But there's, I don't know if you can see it. See it? That little black thing? I have that little scar all the way under. But the right side is struggling to heal because, you know, we told you about the I can never get it out the first time. Necropathy. What am I trying to say? I can't even get it in my head. Y'all know I ain't no doctor, so wait a minute. You know, I talked about in the last video, the tissue dying and blah, blah, blah. So that is still happening and it's still struggling to heal. But right now, he doesn't want me to wear a bra because the bra would agitate it. But I think what has happened is one boob might be a little bit bigger than the other one. And as a result, it's kind of done doubled over. You know what I'm saying? And that is causing it to stay moist and not heal. So I think the bra would be a good thing, but I can't get that skin to heal under there. So that's why he has had me on bed rest and making me stay in the bed on my back so that the boob can stay lifted up and get air so it can heal. Now, of course, I told you I've been rubbing vitamin E oil on it because vitamin E works great. So it's got the left side on and popping. Right side still a little struggle. So we talked about that. But he was okay with that because it's pink now. And at first it was black. Like it was yucky looking. But now it's pink. So that tells him that the blood is pushing itself back to it and it's healing. So he's just going to continue to monitor that just like Dr. Higdon. So my part in that, I'm going to keep rubbing it with oil. And when I'm at home, I'm going to keep my wife beater on. And I'm going to stay in the bed as much as possible. But now I just done got sick of staying in the bed. Let's just keep it 100. I mean, it's only so much one can do. That being said, on to the last topic. I asked him, can I go back to work? Because let me just be honest. My household, again, I've said this a million times, my household functions off 2 incomes. And right now I only have 1. So everything to me is slipping by the wayside. Okay, so I need to get back to work, child, because what I ain't going to do is be sitting in here in the dark. I ain't got no bread, honey. I got to get to work now. Shit, I got to get up and go to work. So we better figure out a plan on how we going to get this right boob to heal. And I'm going to get myself up to work now because I need my money. I got to have these coins. Now, I done got irritated with him. And he said, okay, fine. You can go back to work as long as you can tolerate it. But the first sign of trouble and you start hurting, you go home. No problem. So, my FMLA, I'm going to have to call Human Resources and see because it can go back to the intermittent FMLA where I come and go to work as I'm able. Because, honey, mom got to get these coins. I just ain't you. I tell y'all what, I don't understand folks that don't want to go to work. I cannot manage life without working. I've got my first job right before my 16th birthday, and I have not stopped. Now, you know, in between there, I might got fired or something, you know, whatever. But I found me another job and got right back to work. Like, I cannot understand how people are okay with being broke. And they don't do anything to change their situation. Now, I ain't got me no rich husband, and I'm too scared to sell dope. Well, you know, I got to get up and work. So if you got bills, how you paying your bills? You ain't going to work. Now, I know everybody joking about these little hot $40, but honey, $40 ain't going to do nothing for me. $40 don't even pay my phone bill. $40 won't buy 2 loaves of bread. Now, that $40 can't buy toilet paper, and that's what the world acting a fool about. So, what that? Now, we can't. I'm off task. Let me focus. Wait a minute. We talked about my hair growing back. Y'all see it's coming, China. It's trying to do a little something. So it's coming. Let me get up here. Got a little peach fuzz, honey. It's coming. He was happy about that. That's a good sign that everything is healing and coming along. We talked about Jason being tested. at 18. So those of you who don't know, my son, my one and only, the love of my life, my pride and joy, the reason why I shoot somebody, he is 15. Ain't that something? He'll be 16 in August. I had a 16-year-old, Lord. So he will need to be tested at about 18 because of my mutation. And we need to figure out if it skipped his genetics, which I really hope. This is the one time I really hope he took his daddy's side. So, excuse me. See, I can't stop clearing my throat. So we talked about that. My siblings, I know you all are going to watch this. Dear siblings, we got the same mama, a different dad, but that means 50% of this mutation could have come to you. So we're not sure if it came from my mom or my dad. So it's 50-50, which means you better go check to see if you have it, if you have the mutation. And if you have the mutation, what that means is you have to be tested more often to make sure. And because of the number of people in our family that have had cancer, I can only hope it skipped your generation or you took your dad's side. I can only hope. But you won't know until you get tested. The people that did my genetic testing, they do offer it at a discount, and they do offer it if you agree to let them examine your outcomes, then they will do your labs for free. But of course, it's all in the name of science. So you got to be willing to give up something to get something, and that they have access and rights to my genetic makeup and my lab work because I didn't want to pay $1,500 to have it done. Whatever the cost was, $1,500, $1,600, whatever it was. All right. That being said, okay, so May the 9th, next topic, we're moving on. Please, ma'am, sir, go get your mammogram. Go get tested. Go check yourself out. It's well worth you knowing. Because if you can catch it early, you can treat it, you can beat it. Catch it, treat it, beat it. Let's catch it, treat it, beat it. Anyway, that being said, I opted not. Oh, let me address this. Financially, I opted not to do a GoFundMe account simply because I feel like GoFundMe is for people who, I mean, like they might have lost their whole entire life. You know, their whole house blew away in the storm. Or, you know, I just think that's what the GoFundMe is for. I didn't do the GoFundMe because I just feel like, you know, God will make a way. I don't feel like I'm in the position to have to go around begging people to help me and bless me. But I think God will make a way. So that's, I know some of y'all might be thinking, if you struggling, you need help, why don't you do, I just don't want to do the GoFundMe. I don't think I'm in that position. Yes, I am behind in some things, but I've done everything that I could do to manage it. And hopefully I can get on back to work next week, honey, and try to get back to some semblance of normal. So that's my plan. And that's just me. I have always believed in being a giver and not a taker of all things. So like, it's really hard for me to accept people giving. And I might need it. Shoot, my ugly self over here struggling my eyes out. So I mean, but that's just me. I believe in being a lender and not a borrower, and that's Bible. So I'm working on getting back on my feet, getting my life back together in that respect. All right. So we talked about that. To talk about the genetics. We talked about everything else. I think we're good to go. So thank you all so much. I love you. Continue on with those prayer targets. Please, sir. Please, ma'am. Remember, we have to add, we need to put those prayer targets in that focus on obliterating the cancer. I want to make sure it skipped a generation for my son. I want to make sure it doesn't reoccur for me. We got the port situation squared away, so we're just going to pray that this man know what he's doing to get this port out of here. And we're going to pray that the swap surgery is successful. I have been writing in my journal. So some people have shared some things with me. We've talked about, I have put you in my prayer journal, and I done told our daddy all about it. So please know that just like I'm praying for me, I'm praying for you. I ain't just focused on me. I got a lot of people in this book that need God to do a major thing ASAP. And he knows all about it. All right. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Have a great, wonderful, amazing spring break. Teachers, please rest on spring break. Oh, Lord, I want to go back to work and everybody else running out of work. Spring break. Enjoy yourself. Kick back, put your feet up, eat them cookies. Because, listen, y'all, I gained 15 pounds. I got to get out of this house. Look at these fat jaws. Honey, if I don't get up out of this house, I'm going to eat the whole house. Anyway, love y'all. Bye.